Did you know that teachers work more than 400 hours of overtime each year, according to the ING Foundation survey? It is easy to see that work-life balance is something that all teachers need to deal with. Now, when I became an online tutor and had more flexibility, I thought I had solved this problem, but often I take on more because I have such a passion to help kids struggling with reading. And I've developed another passion of helping online tutors get book solid. And this week, I was asked the question of how do you determine what your fully booked point should be without overscheduling yourself? So in this video, I'm going to share some factors to take into consideration so that you don't overbook yourself. Hi, my name is Joanne Kaminsky, and as an online tutor business coach, this question intrigues me because when I first got started, I was having health issues. I was in and out of the hospital. I was tired most of the time and taking care of my 3 kids. My youngest was 3 years old, and I had enrolled her in preschool 3 days a week and had about 2 hours to myself on those days to work on my business. Now, I worked with my students mostly at night since that was when my husband was home. And sometimes, because of the health issues I was having, I would tutor a student from my bed, and then when we were done, I would turn off the computer and go back to sleep. That's how bad it was. So how do you determine what your book solid is? And most people have an idea in their head of what they think their book solid is, but until they start thinking about students, they're not going to know that answer. So lesson planning takes a different amount of time for each person, and everybody's health is different. So I'm going to help you figure out the perfect number of online tutoring students that you should take on so that you can meet all of your own personal needs. Now, the first thing that you need to think about is how much money do you need to pay your bills and make online tutoring a financially smart decision. Take a look at your current financial situation because this is going to be number one. I don't want anyone losing their house or having to rely on the government as they get their business started. These fears will block you from receiving the amount of students that you want. Now, last week, we took a look at those fears in Business Mindset 101. And I'm going to put a link in the video in the description. I highly suggest everyone watch this video because it's going to put you in the best possible mindset for getting students. Now, once you figure out how much money you need to make, think about how many hours you can work. If you have an infant at home, most likely you will need to figure out a way to hire someone to watch the baby or have a loving family member watch the baby so that you can manage your business and work with students. Now on your calendar, block off those times on your calendar that you think that you are going to be working with students. Now, I had this irrational idea that I was going to work 40 hours a week in the beginning. Since I didn't really understand the concept of working with homeschool students or different time zones, I thought that I had to work 12 hours a day on Saturday and Sunday and 4 hours each day. And this is not the case. You'll be able to attract homeschool students in other countries so you can work some hours during the day if it fits with your schedule. Now, there are times where I work with kids first thing in the morning, and I am a morning person, so this works perfect for me. Now, I have worked with kids in California after I dropped my kids off at school, and they haven't started theirs yet. You would be amazed at how easy it is to schedule kids before school. I mean, after school, they are usually overbooked, but before school is always open. So when I started, I was still in an employee mindset, thinking that the typical work week is 40 hours. But as a business owner, I get to choose how much money I make per hour. So I don't have to work 40 hours in order to make the amount of money that I need. So make sure you don't skip the step of figuring out how much money you need to make. Now, the next thing that you want to take into consideration is how long do you work with each student that you get? Do you work with them for half an hour, a full hour, or an hour and a half? You can decide this on student by student basis or based off of your needs as well. And one of the most crucial things to think about is how long does it take for you to lesson plan? In the beginning, it took me about 5 to 10 minutes. And after I figured out the basic types of students I kept getting and came up with a simple formula for each lesson plan, I now spend 0 minutes lesson planning. So I knew exactly what each student would need, and I put systems in place to make it easier. However, when I took on students that were outside of my comfort zone, also known as not my ideal client, I would spend a ton more time coming up with lesson plans. So one time I took an ACT student and I needed to research what tools to use, and it would take between 30 to 60 minutes to lesson plan. And I soon realized this is not my ideal client. I don't like stepping out of my comfort zone. So now today, I just refer one of our awesome ACT tutors in our community instead. Another thing to consider is how flexible you are. Some of your students are going to need to be, you're going to need to be flexible with. They're going to need to change their time when they have a school concert or a soccer tournament. And if you're able to be flexible with them, they could be a great student to take on. Remember, you do not need to take on every student that comes your way. How flexible are you going to need the client to be? You need to be open with them right off from the beginning. Now, I have found that if you have been flexible with them, they're going to be flexible with you. But if you have not needed to be flexible with them and you expect them to be flexible with you, you will not have a client for long if you have not stated your particular situation right out the gate. They will just see you as unreliable and look for a different tutor. And I know this seems harsh, but you need to be upfront with your students' parents so that they are prepared to be flexible and not see you as an unreliable tutor. Now I'm curious, how many students do you need to be book solid? Comment below. Now, all the things that we've talked about so far fall under the category of financial and time management. Now we're going to switch gears into another kind of management. This is energy management. Schedule your students during your peak energy times. For some people, this is the morning, others during the day, and still others it's the evening. The beauty of figuring this out will help you determine where you need to spend your time marketing your tutoring services. So if you mostly want daytime hours, then you can work with homeschool students and students from other countries. What time zones fit best with the hours that you wish to work? Once you figure that out, you know where you can spend your time marketing online. Now take a look at your schedule and block off the times that you don't want to work. For me, each day I block off from 2 to 3 so that I can get a nap. And this allows me to continue on into the evening with any students that I have and be wide awake and energized. Now, managing your energy is going to give you more time. It's going to take you less time to complete tasks, and you're going to feel happier as a result. For me, taking a nap helps restore my energy. For others, they meditate. Eating a proper diet can help energy levels stay high, and exercise is another way to keep energy levels higher. So how do you know when you're not balancing your finances, your time, and your energy well? Well, first, you're going to be stressed and have high levels of anxiety, and this is going to cause you to be less productive. Second, you're going to be tired all the time. When you work too much, you become tired all of the time. You're not as efficient. Third, you don't have enough time to relax. I know that Gary Vee makes it seem like you need to work 20 hours a day to accomplish your dream, but most people need some downtime to be re-energized and do the things that they love to do as well. 4, you are frequently making mistakes. So working when you're exhausted means that you're going to be making way more mistakes than you were, and you're going to have to fix them later. 5, you have frequent headaches or stomach aches. And this is your body giving you clues that something is wrong. And by the time this happens, something is really wrong, and you better listen. 6, you don't have time to sleep 8 hours a night. Now, this is the average that most people need to function well. And if you are not getting this, then you're going to want to build in a bedtime and a wake-up time. Each night, I go to bed at 9 p.m. and I wake up at 5 a.m. This ensures that I am getting enough sleep each night. I set my alarm for 5 o'clock so that I don't oversleep. And sometimes I have things scheduled that I have to get to, and other times it's just office time or where I can work on managing my business or creating content. 7, if you had to give up most of your hobbies, you're going to begin to have negative feelings towards your business. So make sure you have time to do some of the things that you enjoy doing. 8, you don't have time to exercise at least 3 times a week. Now, if you don't have time to do this, then you are overscheduling yourself. And since you are tutoring online, you are mostly sitting most of the day, and this could cause weight gain if you're eating less. This happened to me in my first year of tutoring and continues to be an area I struggle with. However, building in a routine when I exercise helps me always keep it top of mind. I hope these things have helped you consider the most important things to consider so that you know what your book solid will look like. It will not be the same for everyone. Now, if you have found this information helpful for figuring out what your book solid is, please like and pass it on to another tutor or teacher who could benefit from it. Also, remember to subscribe and hit that bell so that you can get more videos just like this as soon as they come out. Now, if you haven't found us on Facebook yet, come join us at the Ultimate Support Group for Online Tutors. This is a free community that will guide you as you begin this journey. It's going to connect you with other established tutors and get your business off on the right foot. Well, My name is Joanne Kaminsky, the online tutor business coach, and here is till next time. Bye, everyone.